You know, everyone is obsessed with becoming a millionaire. We're always focused on that big, shiny finish line, but we totally skip over the most important part of the race. So today, we're going to talk about the real starting line for building wealth, your very first $100,000. Trust me, it's not just a number, it's the point where everything, the math, the psychology, it all changes.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This comes from the legend himself, Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's longtime partner. He flat out said it. Getting to that first 100K is an absolute grind. But it's a grind you have to get through if you ever want your money to start working for you. So why is it so ridiculously hard? Let's get into it.
Okay, so if you've already started saving and you feel like you're just spinning your wheels, listen up. You're not failing, you're not doing anything wrong, you're just experiencing the basic physics of finance. The beginning feels less like you're building wealth and more like you're stuffing cash into a mattress. It's just so slow, and yeah, it can be incredibly frustrating.
This right here explains exactly why it feels that way. In the early days, almost all of your portfolio's growth comes directly from you. It's the money you are personally saving and shoveling into your account. Your investments, yeah, they're growing, but the pile of cash is so small that the returns are practically invisible.
This is honestly the perfect analogy. Imagine you're throwing all of your energy against this massive boulder. You're sweating, you're straining, and after an hour of pure agony, you look back and realize you've only moved it a few feet. That's you, on your journey from zero to your first 100K. It's supposed to feel almost impossible.
And this number just nails it. In the beginning, you are doing 95% of the work. Compound interest, that magical force that everyone talks about, it's only chipping in about 5%. It's barely lifting a finger. And that's exactly why it's so easy to look at your account statement and just think, ugh, what is even the point?
But that is the point. You're building the machine, you're getting the boulder to the top of the hill. That $100,000 mark isn't just some random arbitrary number. It is the mathematical tipping point where the physics of money finally starts working for you instead of against you.
And you can literally see the momentum build right here. Just look at how things accelerate. That first 100K might take you 8 long years, but the second one? Whoa, only 5 years. The third? Less than 4. And then it gets even faster. The time it takes to stack another 100 grand just keeps getting shorter and shorter as that boulder starts rolling downhill all by itself.
This table breaks down the math behind that magic. For that first 100K, you have to contribute over $78,000 of your own hard-earned money. But just look at what happens by the time you're going for your third 100K. You only have to put in about $38,000, and the market does the rest. It adds $62,000 for you. That is the moment. It's the first time your money is officially working harder than you are.
But this isn't just about the numbers on a spreadsheet. Something really profound happens inside your head. Once you cross that 100K threshold, your entire relationship with money, with risk, and with opportunity completely transforms.
You develop this thing we can call investment fearlessness. Think about it. Before, if the market dropped and you lost $1,000, it probably felt like a catastrophe, right? But now, with a real cushion, it's just annoying. And that shift allows you to think like a wealthy investor, to actually buy more when prices are low instead of panic selling at the worst possible time.
You also form a brand new wealth identity. It's like a software update for your financial brain. You stop thinking like someone who's just trying to survive paycheck to paycheck, and you start thinking like someone who strategically builds long-term wealth. You start making decisions based on value, not just the price tag.
So what does this actually feel like in your day-to-day life, especially at work? Because this financial security doesn't just sit in your bank account. It fundamentally changes the way you carry yourself in your career.
It's the confidence effect. All of a sudden, you can negotiate for that raise with the power to actually walk away if you don't get it. You can take on that ambitious, risky project because you know you can afford to fail. You speak your mind in meetings. It creates this powerful feedback loop where your financial success fuels your professional success, which then turns around and fuels even more wealth.
Okay, so we know why it's so important. But how do you actually get there, especially when it feels like you're pushing that boulder? Well, the strategy for your first 100K is actually pretty simple. Now, that doesn't mean it's easy, but it is simple.
It all comes down to a brute force strategy. This isn't about being a stock-picking genius. It's about making the gap between what you earn and what you spend as wide as possible. And then, this is key, automating the process of shoveling that difference into simple, low-cost investments. Your only job is to feed that machine, consistently, so it has the fuel to start compounding.
Now I have to make a quick but really critical point here.
When we talk about this 100K rule, we are talking about liquid, invested assets, things like stocks and an index fund. The equity you have in your house is a fantastic asset, but it's not liquid. It doesn't compound and spit out returns in the same way. It isn't the engine of the snowball effect we're talking about.
So, if you remember one thing, let it be this. Your first $100,000 is not 10% of the way to $1 million. That's linear thinking in an exponential world. No, your first 100K, it's the launch pad. It is the hardest, the slowest, most agonizing part of the journey. But once you build it, you have set the foundation for your entire financial future.
Look, at the end of the day, the math is relentless. The compounding curve will always work, as long as you give it fuel and time. So the real question isn't whether this system works. We know it does. The question is, will you have the patience and the discipline to let it?